Hey guys, and welcome on into the next NHL off-season preview show. Today we're going to be talking all about the St. Louis Blues, taking a look at their off-season, and of course ending the show with off-season tasks for the Blues. If you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button for even more NHL off-season preview shows and more NHL content. We're going to jump into the first segment here, which is draft picks and management. The Blues, as you can see, do not have a ton of draft picks. They have their first round pick this year, and then they do not have their second, third, and fourth, but they do have their fifth and sixth, and then they don't have their seventh. So, of course, the first round is the most important. They have their first round pick, but that's basically it heading into this draft. And that's what offer sheeting players will do to your draft capital. Doug Armstrong, general manager of the St. Louis Blues, and then Jim Montgomery, head coach, which was a great in-season change for the Blues. Jim Montgomery, of course, leading the Blues to the final wildcard spot, and they took it to the President's Trophy Winnipeg Jets and got it to Game 7, but couldn't win in Game 7. So the Blues overall had a pretty decent year. They're going to be adding a first round, assuming they don't trade it. They're going to be adding a first round pick, first round type of player here. With where the Blues are positioned in the draft, likely won't be playing over for the next few years. But they have Jim Montgomery back, who had a great season last year. And I won't be surprised to see him lead the Blues to competing for a playoff spot once again. St. Louis Blues free agents. And if you've been watching some other NHL offseason preview shows that I've done, you'll notice, wow, this list is pretty small compared to a lot of the other teams, and that's true. The Blues currently only 3 RFA/UFAs that played on the roster last year. Cap space, you might be looking at this thinking, okay, I'm a little confused here. So the Blues currently have $5,025,150 projected cap space, but that's not that is not including putting Torrey Krug on LTIR. If the Blues do that, that will give them an additional $6.5 million to get them to the $11.5 million. So the Blues will have some cap space here for this upcoming season. And their main priority is, of course, Joel Hofer, backup goaltender, who had a pretty decent year with the Blues last season. Wasn't a downgrade from Jordan Bennington in the regular season last year. Hofer went 16-8-3 with a 2.65 goals against average and a 904 save percentage. So his numbers were actually all just a little bit better than what Bennington did. So Hofer is going to get himself a raise, of course. And while the Blues have more than enough money, if they don't get Hofer signed right away, I could see another team, not going to say Edmonton, but hey, maybe Edmonton wants to get some revenge, and they offer sheet Joel Hofer for what the Blues did last year. Of course, we hadn't really seen players being offer sheeted very often, and then the Blues did it twice last year. So Edmonton could be out for some revenge, but I think the Blues should be fine with re-signing Joel Hofer. Radek Faksa, Ryan Suter, of course, Ryan Suter, 40 years old. If he comes back, it'll be a very, very cheap contract, so it won't break the bank if the Blues want to bring him back for some extra depth defenseman. Radek Faksa, of course, that bottom 6 forward. So the main priority here, of course, is your backup goaltender, Joel Hofer, who was a slightly better goaltender than Jordan Binnington last season. Taking a look at the forward group as projected for this upcoming season, Pavel Buchnevich, Robert Thomas, and Jimmy Snuggerud on that top line. I don't know if Snuggerud is on the first line when the season starts. He could be, but we'll have to see exactly what happens here. But a young prospect that played pretty well for them last year in the little limited games he had last year. Jake Neighbors, Braden Shen, Jordan Kyrou. That's a pretty good second line with Neighbors, Shen, and Kyrou. And then that third line, you've got Matthew Joseph, but you've got Dylan Holloway and Zach Bolduc. Bolduc, of course, showed his offensive capability at times last season. Dylan Holloway, of course, one of the players that the Blues got from Edmonton, could very well be a second line player as well. And then you've got that fourth line of Alexei Trobachenko, Oscar Sundqvist, longtime Blue, who's kind of been in a few different teams, but and then Nathan Walker as well. And then you've got Alexandre Texier and Nikita Alexandrov as extras. So Blues do have some forwards if they need to bring some guys in. Overall, I like this lineup. I like this forward group. I think maybe you can have another top 9 forward, someone in that third line, maybe move Matthew Joseph down. Maybe Snuggerud goes to the second line. There's combinations and things that the Blues could do here, but overall, looking at this forward group, I think it's pretty nice. I think it's pretty good. And of course, with not having a lot of UFAs, RFAs, especially in the forward group, it's pretty similar from what we saw last season. So left wingers, maybe the one spot that the Blues maybe have a need if they want to put someone in that third line. There's different guys available here. Of course, so we look at from show to show. I don't see Marchand or Ben going to the St. Louis. Druin, probably the same thing. Kuzmenko or JVR could be a good addition for that third line. And of course, everyone and their mother wants Nikolai Ehlers. He would be an excellent addition for this Blues team. Really, he'll be would be an excellent addition to any team, but he would definitely help this Blues offense if he was to join them. Centers, I think the Blues are pretty somewhat set up there. If you do move Dylan Holloway to the wing, then maybe you could add another center here. I could see a guy like Pius Suter, maybe Ryan Donato, potentially go to the Blues here on this list. RFAs, I don't know if the Blues are really going after any of these guys, but certainly possible. Again, their forward group is pretty set up this year, in my opinion. And then there's RFAs, and well, never say never. The Blues, if they do get Joel Hofer signed to a pretty cheap deal, approximately having $11.5 million in cap space with Torrey Krug on IR, they could potentially go after one of these guys. The Blues could do that. And they've shown that they will do that in the past. So while I don't think it's likely, it's definitely possible. You definitely can't count the Blues out here. If there was a player here that they did want to go add, they would have the cap space and ability. Actually, sorry, they wouldn't have the ability to do so because I totally forgot to bring up earlier on the show. My bad. Offer sheet capabilities. So let's take a look for the Blues. They can offer a player over $11,700,193, but with their cap space and Joel Hofer, that would mean they want to be able to do that. They can offer sheet a player between 4.6 million basically to just over 7 million. They do have the ability to do that with their first and third round pick. So there are some guys in this list here that they could get between 5 to 7 million. But in my opinion, with guys in this list, you probably would have the team matching that offer. So don't know if the Blues are going to be in for RFAs, but of course we'll have to keep our eyes on them. Looking at the St. Louis Blues defense core, Cam Fowler, Colton Parayko, Philip Broberg, Justin Falk, Tyler Tucker, and Nick Leddy. Pretty decent defense core. You've got Matthew Kessel also as an extra player. Obviously, injury history with Nick Leddy. Tyler Tucker was injured as well. Parayko's had injury history. So you really want these guys to stay healthy. And if this is the Blues defense core, and they do stay healthy, then I think you've got a pretty decent defense core as well. I think if there's an injury, Matthew Kessel can join the D core. So overall, I don't know if there's really a big addition here that the Blues need to do either. Looking at defensemen, it's maybe they go after one more guy in that third D pair, so that you could find them adding some depth defensemen if they did want to add somebody. But I don't expect a big addition when it comes to defensemen. Of course, looking at the guys available, you don't really. Ekblad would be a huge addition, but I don't think he'd go to the Blues. But I mean, of the guys in this list, you wouldn't really consider them a huge addition unless you're maybe looking at Ekblad. Goaltenders for the Blues: Jordan Binnington, and of course, if he gets re-signed, Joel Hofer. And no, I'm not a fan of Jordan Binnington. That is something that is public knowledge. But overall, a decent year last year. If he plays the same way next year, then he'll remain the starter. He and Joel Hofer both put up similar numbers next year. Then they will once again be a playoff contender for a playoff spot. Taking a look at UFAs, RFAs, I don't know. I don't think that the Blues should be adding any goaltenders. I don't. If for some reason they don't re-sign Joel Hofer, then of course, maybe they would have to go look at a backup. But I don't see any reason why they wouldn't get him signed. And that brings us to offseason tasks. And, well, as you can see, I don't really have a lot here. Re-sign Joel Hofer and then look at adding a top 9 forward. I guess you could add, maybe looking at adding some depth on defense, an extra depth defenseman. But they've got guys in the AHL that they could probably call up. So overall, the Blues do have some cap space with Krug on IR. They could potentially go and add a name in free agency. And I think most likely, in my opinion, would be a forward. But not a huge offseason for the Blues compared to some other teams that have, like Buffalo, for instance, who have a bunch of RFAs and a bunch of spots to deal with. The Blues, basically one RFA, 2 UFAs. Maybe they re-sign Ryan Suter. There's your defensive depth. Maybe they sign him to a league minimum deal. You got your defensive depth. You add a top 9 forward. They've got cap space to do that. Maybe you add a second line player, and then you've helped boost that offense. You've got the defense. You've got the goaltending. And, I would say that this Blues team should be a playoff team heading into next year. But, of course, it is a very tough division in the Central Division that they're in. Teams like Utah, I think, will be improving quite a bit. So I'm not going to say the Blues are a playoff team, but of course we're not looking at that yet. That'll be in a couple months. But overall, with the roster as it is, they're definitely going to be competing for a playoff spot, in my opinion. If you're a Blues fan, make sure to leave in the comments section below. What do you think the St. Louis Blues need to do this offseason? Do you want them to add a forward with that cap space? Would you like them to add a defenseman? Do you want Binnington gone? No, I'm kidding. Leave your opinions and thoughts on what you want the Blues to do in this offseason in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you guys like the show. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Appreciate all the support, and we will see you guys again on the next NHL offseason preview show.